All right. In this explainer, we're diving into a really fascinating paradox that sits right at the heart of our careers. We all want to grow, we all want to succeed, but what if the very way we think is secretly holding us back? Let's find out.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your mindset really ready for what's coming? Because the world of work, it is changing faster than ever. And if you ask the experts, they all agree that the single most important skill for the future is the ability to just continuously learn and adapt. The real question is, are we actually prepared to do it?
And that brings us to our first big idea here, the future-ready mindset. It really all boils down to something that psychologists call a growth mindset. And let me tell you, understanding this is absolutely critical for anyone who wants to thrive, not just survive, in the next few decades. Okay, so this lays out two fundamentally different ways of seeing the world. This whole concept comes from Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, and it is a total game changer. On one side, you've got the fixed mindset. That's the belief that, your talent is what it is. You're either good at something or you're not. So success is all about proving you're smart and, most importantly, avoiding failure at all costs. But then on the other side, you have the growth mindset. This is where failure isn't some final verdict. It's a launch pad. It's the core belief that effort and challenge are the things that actually make you smarter. So it's pretty clear why everyone, from the World Economic Forum to top CEOs, is saying a growth mindset is completely non-negotiable. The future needs people who absolutely love to learn. But this brings up a huge question. Is the next generation that's entering the workforce right now, Gen Z, are they truly ready to embrace this? And this is where things get really interesting and a little complicated, because some recent research has uncovered a completely unexpected contradiction between what young people say they believe and how they actually behave. It's a phenomenon we're calling the mindset paradox. At first glance, everything looks great. When researchers surveyed students, the results were overwhelming. The data here shows a really strong agreement with a core growth mindset idea that learning is way more important than just getting excellent grades. So on paper, it sounds like a perfect growth mindset, right? They're saying all the right things. But here's the twist. This is where it gets fascinating. When those same students were actually put to the test, their actions told a completely different story. So give them a choice between a hard task where they could learn more and an easy one, only 11% picked the challenge. Offer them a chance to really stretch their minds with a logic competition, just 14% signed up. And when they got to choose their own project topics, they overwhelmingly went with stuff they were already comfortable with. It all points to this powerful, unspoken preference: avoid risk and save effort. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the mindset paradox. We get it intellectually that challenge leads to growth. We know that's the ideal, but when the moment of truth comes, our old fixed mindset habits just kick right in. So why does this happen? Well, you could argue it's because our educational systems often reward the right answer way more than the challenging question. We're kind of trained to perform, not necessarily to learn. And that creates this huge gap between our best intentions and our comfort-seeking actions. So how in the world do we break out of this paradox? How do we turn our good intentions into actual actions? Well, the answer lies in shifting our perspective from just doing a job to actively crafting one. And there's this incredible story that explains this perfectly. I want you to really think about these 3 stonecutters for a second. They are all doing the exact same physical task, but their inner experience of that task, they're worlds apart. The first guy, he just sees the task. I'm cutting a stone. The second guy, he just sees the paycheck. I'm earning a living. But the third one sees the purpose. He has connected his small, daily action to this grand, meaningful vision. He isn't just a stonecutter, he is a cathedral building. And that, right there, is the essence of what we call job crafting. It's this powerful idea that you don't have to just be a passive recipient of whatever's in your job description. You can be an active architect. It's all about proactively changing parts of your work, what you do, who you interact with, and maybe most importantly, how you think about it to line it up more closely with your strengths, your passions, and your values. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Well, job crafting is a really practical toolkit, and it's got 3 key areas you can work on to create change. So, the whole concept of job crafting is built on these 3 pillars. Think of it like a triangle, connecting meaning, tasks, and relationships. These are the 3 levers you can pull anytime you want to reshape your work experience and, build your own cathedral. Let's break it down really quick. First, you've got task crafting. That's basically about changing up your responsibilities. Maybe you take on a new project that really excites you, or you figure out a smarter, more efficient way to do a tedious task. Then there's relationship crafting. This is all about being intentional with your interactions, seeking out a mentor, or deciding to collaborate more with a colleague whose energy you really admire. And finally, there's cognitive crafting, which might just be the most powerful one of all. This is that stonecutter to cathedral builder shift we talked about, actively changing how you see the meaning and the purpose of your work. Now, before you dive in, there's a really crucial warning here. Being proactive isn't always positive. Just like any powerful tool, you can use job crafting constructively or destructively. There's a light side, and there's definitely a dark side to this kind of initiative. This model shows how each type of crafting has both a positive and a negative path. So take cognitive crafting. It can lead to this profound sense of meaning, right? But it can also become destructive if you start to lose touch with reality. Task crafting can lead you to professional mastery, or it can lead straight to burnout. And relationship crafting can build you this amazing supportive network, or it can create some really unhealthy dependence. Let's just use relationship crafting as a super clear example. The light side is what we call supportive crafting. This is where you build a network based on mutual respect and a genuine desire to collaborate and help each other grow. But the dark side is dependent crafting. This is when you're not really seeking collaboration, you're seeking constant validation because of low self-esteem. One builds you up, the other traps you. The key to all of this is self-awareness. So, with that in mind, how do we make sure we stay on the light side and become true architects of our own opportunities? It's time to put these ideas into practice. I love this quote from Chris Grosser. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. It just says it all. The world doesn't just hand you a fulfilling career on a silver platter. You have to build it, brick by brick. You have to be the one who sees the potential for a cathedral in a pile of ordinary stones. And here's how you can start. It's actually a pretty simple 4-step process. First, just analyze your job using those 3 lenses we talked about: tasks, relationships, and meaning. Where are the friction points? Where are the opportunities? Second, identify just one small thing you can change. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. That's a recipe for disaster. Third, act on it. Start a small, low-risk experiment. And finally, and this is so important, reflect. Did it work? How did it make you feel? Did it increase your energy? Job crafting is really just a cycle of small, intentional adjustments. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. Stop waiting for the perfect job to just fall into your lap. The power isn't out there somewhere. It's right here, with you. It's about taking the job you have right now and actively molding it, shaping it, and crafting it into the job you actually want. You are the architect. So, I'll just leave you with this one question. This isn't about some grand 5-year plan. Forget that for a minute. It's about one small, proactive step that you can take right now. What is the first stone you're going to lay for your cathedral? What will you craft today?